Hello, welcome to Hypernatural 101. We're going to go through some basics of AI video generation in Hypernatural. We're going to give folks a little bit of time to trickle in, but I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Christina, and I work on the Hypernatural team. We are an AI video generator that helps create videos from prompts or scripts in a matter of a minute. So I'm excited to show you all what the tool can do today and kind of go through the basics. We will go through a very, very high level of just how to get started, where your things get saved, how to think about credits. And then if you would like to go a little deeper, please join us next week for the deep dive on AI video generation. A couple of things to add is the chat is open, so if you want to chat, please do so. Um, I think everyone should be, panelists can chat with everyone, attendees can chat with everyone. Great. So everyone is able to chat. You can also use our Q&A to ask questions. I will answer the questions at the end of the webinar. So please just as questions come up, add them to the Q&A and I'll leave some time at the end to go through some live questions. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, so here is Hypernatural. This is our homepage when you log in. A couple of things to just call out here is we have our prompt box, and this is generally where you get started, but if you're looking for suggestions or want to see some ideas that we can go down here. So our suggestions that you can click on any of these options here to kind of just generate a prompt. So if I go, I want a 3D animation kids adventure, that sounds fun. You can click on this and it'll suggest a prompt, set it to 3D animation. I can change the aspect ratio here. I can change the length, and then I click on this arrow to make the video. So if it's your first time using Hypernatural or doing any AI video generation, please do use our suggestions. They can be really helpful, and these are prompts that we've used in the past, so we like them. You can also see some inspiration videos here. So this is our inspiration rail of things that have been created recently. And we get like a message from Santa, things that are a little bit more relevant, but this will change every now and again. So please do check it out if you're looking for some inspiration. We have our our stock styles here. So this is available for all users. You got to get a sense of like what the different styles are that are available. If you are a paid user, you can also create custom styles. Same with characters. We have a ton of custom characters, stock characters available for use. Just so many. But then you can also create a custom character here. So this is kind of like our homepage. And to get started, there are a couple of ways you can get started. So again, you can use prompt. This tends to be a way that people get started, usually if they're just kind of testing out the tool. If you have a better idea of what it is that you want to build and you have an exact script that you've already created somewhere else or that you've written yourself, please, you can just use the prompt box as a voiceover as well. So the way you would do this is you can just put it here if you want, and it'll treat it as a prompt. Or you can use, if you go and click on this plus, use the voiceover for a script that you've already written. So you use this, and then you can paste in your voiceover here. Another way to get started is a narrated video or narrated audio. This is only available on paid plans. So I'll kind of go through what happens when you do here. I've created a quick video that I'm going to upload. It's going to check the file. Okay, while we let that finish, I'll go to another example. So another way that you can do this is, as I said, I'm going to use a script that I've already written. I'm going to paste this here. So today, my example video for the day is going to be a med spa video, an ad for a med spa, our Hypernatural spa. So I've created a script here that is, a scene description and then the narrator lines. And my style for this is going to be photographic. I want it to look like real people. And I'm not going to set a length because the length is already set by the script length. And I want this to be a tall portrait or like for real on Instagram. So go and create this. So the video I've uploaded here, we're going to go back to the video I just uploaded while that video creates. The video I uploaded here, it's the exact same script. So I essentially recorded myself saying the script and I've uploaded here, which is now a narrated video. What this will do is it then transcribes what I've said and it adds scene descriptions to this. So it's going to make B-roll essentially for what I've said in my script. And here I can just review the scene descriptions and make sure that this is what I want it to look like. So welcoming spa reception, a serene modern atmosphere, lush green plants, soft background music, whatever. Yeah, so it's trying to like set a vibe. Um, right. And if I wanted to change something, let's say, I want, I'm just gonna add something random like clients smiling. And we'll see what it does with that. But I can edit the descriptions here. I would not edit, obviously, what is being said because that's using the video that I've uploaded, but I can edit the descriptions here so that the B-roll gives me more of what I'm looking for. Um, great. And now we're going to make this video. Going back to, so again, the exact same script. I narrated one into a video and I've uploaded that. For this one, I just copied and pasted in the script as a voiceover. So similarly, I'm getting the narrator, but the difference here is because I am creating the story here, it's going to give me characters. So it's casted the spa client, it's casted that esthetician, and now I can like change who these people are. Um, so let me talk through a few of the ingredients for creating this video. So here you see the narrator. That's me. My name is Christina. This is my custom voice that I've created. If you're on a paid plan, you get a limited number of custom voices. So I can go here and I can create this custom voice. Um, I can also use some of our standard already available voices. I can kind of listen to them here.
Every character deserves the right,
and get a sense of what I want that voice to look like.
Every character deserves the right voice.
And then if you are on a free plan, you can use our non-premium voices down here.
every character,
I'm gonna go with
Every character deserves.
Sarah. I don't know that Sarah is actually the most compelling voice for this ad, but let's test her out. As I said, the style here is photographic. You can also create a custom style from this page here. But I've selected photographic here. And then I can change the aspect ratio before I actually create the video, but I'm going to keep it as a tall portrait because I want to create a reel. Now, for the characters, there's a character set for the client, and then there's a character set for the esthetician. So I'm going to check out the clients. I could say not cast. So here in this situation, if I don't want to cast the client, say I don't want a consistent character to show up throughout this video as the client, I can select not cast. I can select from any of these stock characters already available in your accounts, or I can create a new character. So to create a new character, I would click this new character and up would pop this pop-up for how to create a new character. You go here, you can upload a photo of that character, name the character, or if you don't want to upload a photo and you just have an idea of what you want this character to look like, I can say like young woman in her uh 20s with glasses and a braid. I don't know. Um, I could do this and I could name her um Tiffany. I could then choose a voice for Tiffany. One thing to highlight about the script that we're using is that only the narrator has lines. So if I choose a voice for Tiffany, I mean, that's a part of creating a character. But Tiffany's voice is not going to show up in this unless I give Tiffany lines in the script. So I'll use my voice for Tiffany and we will generate this character. I didn't give much descriptions here in terms of what Tiffany will look like. Like I didn't set hair color, etc. So it kind of just does what it does, and it's gonna share some example images. But if you wanted to, you could go ahead and change um, more of the descriptions here and add a little bit more detail to what it is that you want this custom character to look like. She seems great, so I'm going to generate this character. Oh, hmm, interesting. Hmm. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, weird. Let me use a different voice. Okay, look into that. I'm not sure why she's not generating, but I will keep our spot client then to be Maya, who is one of our stock characters. And our esthetician is going to be Ashley, who is also one of our stock characters. Okay, so here it's a pretty short script. Again, like I added the script, so I knew it was going to be pretty short. Um, and if I want to make changes to this, I could do this here. So I can make changes like changing the characters' names, casting a different person. I'm not going to change anything of the script, but this is one way to make, and I mean, the change script feels good if you're like you want to make it longer, or if they named the character or something that you didn't want the character to be named. It's a good way to like change the character's name. Something that like you could change across the entire script. But in reality, if you're going to make a ton of changes to the script, my suggestion would be to put in a script that you actually like from the beginning, and it will ensure that you're getting the script that you want. Much better than trying to make the changes in this modal. Okay, now we're going to make this video. And this video got made. So remember, I recorded myself stating the exact same script that I entered here. So what this does is it takes part of the video and then it adds B-roll to this. So let's go ahead and watch this. At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks. From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique needs. So this again, it will use my video. And let's say I don't want to use this and I want actually to put an AI generated image here. Um, I would then go here to swap. I could generate new and actually generate an image. So actually, my first option here would not be to generate an image. So generating this costs about 20 credits. If you just want B-roll in this situation, my suggestion here would actually be to use our stock library first and kind of take a look at what's here. This is the most efficient, cost-efficient way to like not have to use credits. So I could go here. Right now we've gone media stock and look up spa. And here are a ton of stock images that I could use. So I like this one. At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks. From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique needs. Okay, so that is one way to swap out some of these images. One thing to also know is to start, these images are all still images. So if there are stock images that fit the description of what it is that you're looking for, so for instance, this one, feel confident, restored and completely cared for. Right, it's used this library image that is animated, that is a moving video. But if not, then it's going to just be a bunch of stills, and then you can add motion to them once you feel good about those stills. Again, it's gonna throw in for like versions of where I was talking. We're gonna go back to the one that I created from a script. So that one is a narrated video. That's what it's going to ultimately come out looking like. I wanted to show an example of what narrated audio or narrated video will look like. And that's not using an AI voice. It is using my voice from that video. Now, let's say I don't want to use my voice. I don't want to have to make sure that everything I'm saying is perfectly spot on. And I want to use an AI narrator instead. So this is what this will look like. We have this video created from a script that I entered. It is the exact same script.
At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks. From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique needs.
So personally, I like a video like this for the specific use case because it is casting characters, which I think is great. So you're seeing the consistency of Maya, um, our client, throughout this video. So I really, really enjoyed that of just seeing this consistency of a character going through her day at the spa. Um, I personally like the fact that I don't have to perfect what I'm saying in this, but maybe I don't like this narrator per se, and I want to swap that out. So let's go ahead and start making changes to this video. So now we've generated this video, we're here in our editor, and we wanted to start making some changes. I've already kind of gone through how you can swap this out, but that was for a video I had added. Once you are looking at a generated image in Hypernatural, you have the option to swap here, and these are some of the recommended library items, or you can animate this with AI. I'm not going to animate this image just yet because I want to make sure that I'm going to animate when I feel good about all the stills in this and they fit what I'm looking for. So I'm not going to do that just yet. I want to take a look at kind of just generating new. Let's say, for instance, I don't like what this specific image looks like. I don't know, something just feels off about it, or I have like a very exact look I'm trying to go for. Um, Maybe the walls at my spot are pink, or, just like some other color. Um, Soft lighting, a reception area with and I'm gonna say pink walls. I mean, that's gonna probably look horrible, but let's just go for it. Um, I don't know why I would go to a spot with pink walls, but maybe that is what we're going for here. The other thing to call out here is you have setting. So actually, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to add this to our setting. Serene indoor space with pink walls with gentle lighting, highlighting, right? So here's a setting that we're going for. If I wanted the setting to look exactly the same across all of these, which is, obviously hard to make it look exactly the same, but the more I adhere to the setting, the better it will look, or the more closer to each other they will look. And the difference here is obviously the settings are going to be a little different because there are different treatments that she's getting. So it's okay if she kind of moves around the spa a little bit. So we're going to generate this image. Another thing, so as we wait for this one to generate, another thing that you could do to swap out an image. So so as you can see, I'm selecting the scene. I'm going to unselect the scene. So this is our global settings that are currently listed here. To swap out a specific scene, I would have to select that scene. And then I am now looking at the scene settings. So now I can look at media for that specific scene. And here I'm looking at stock images. So this is our stock library. I can search characters. So we know Maya is a character. I don't know how many stock images we'll have of Maya at a spa, but let's just do Maya spa. And so so not many of Maya at a spa. But maybe I don't need it to be Maya. Maybe I'm okay if it's just like a spa image. So the same one we saw earlier, spa treatments listed with like the lounge. So there are some options here. If none of these options really fit the bill of what I'm looking for, then I might not use our stock library. Let's go back to this. So, sorry. Okay, so that is one thing you can do. You can go to stock, you can look at past generated images, or you can upload an image of your own. So if you want to upload an image of like the exact spa that you're referring to, and you want that to be the first image shown, whether it be a video or an image of the spa, this would be a great use case for that. You can upload that image or video here and replace that for that scene. Okay, the other thing, we'll get to captions in a minute, but those are a couple of different options if you don't like the image or video that shows up here. Now let's go back to this. So it did add pink walls.
At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel.
Now let's say I make that change and then I don't actually like this change and I want to go back to a previously generated image. Here again, I'm going to click on the scene that I want to edit and I'm going to go here from media to generated. And here I can see all my previously generated images. So I believe this one, yep, this was the original image. I decide I prefer this one, so I can go back and select that specific image. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of like switching out, making changes to the images that are generated. Now, let's say you actually want to make changes to other things like the captions. So there are a couple of ways to make changes to captions. If you can see, I just deselected that scene, so now I'm back in our global video settings. This is the design tab, which gives you our caption settings for the video. You can change the video style. If let's say maybe you don't like the photographic look and you wanted 8-bit or something else, this is a place where you can change the style. And if you change the style, it will regenerate the images for the entire video. And then here you can possibly, if you wanted to add the logo for Hypernatural Spa, this would be the place to add that logo. So you could just upload an image here and then the logo would pop up. Um, let's go back to captions. One option here could be I don't want captions across my scenes, so I could just hide all of our captions.
At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks.
Right? So I do think I want to keep my captions, but you might be uploading to us uploading to something that already auto adds captions and maybe you don't want duplicated captions, so it is possible to hide your captions if that's your preference. You can change the size of the captions from small to extra large. So this is kind of what these look like. I'm gonna go with small. Um, because it is a reel, I kind of just want it to be slightly smaller. You can change the color here, the highlight color, but let's first look at the styles. So here are a few different styles you can pick from. I'm gonna go with these and I'm gonna leave the highlight color. Yeah, I'll leave it with yellow. So now let's see what this looks like.
At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks.
Okay, so that is the caption updated. Now let's say we just want to make changes to the caption for a specific scene. I'm gonna go back and I'm clicking on this scene, so now it's opened up the scene settings. We've talked about the media tab scene settings. Now let's look at the design tab here. For this one, I can make the caption smaller or larger. Let's say, actually, you know what? Let me find one where this might make a little more sense. Yeah, so here. So
Smooth, fine lines, refresh tired skin.
here, as you can see, at the very beginning, it kind of covers her face a bit. So maybe I want the captions at the top, although that's possibly a little worse because it covers her face now. But I just don't want her face to be covered by this. I can move it to the middle, etc. So there's some options in terms of making the captions look a little different per scene so that the thing that you actually, are trying to zero in on doesn't get covered up by captions. Or you can just decide that you don't want captions for the scene because maybe there's no way to get it right. So it's better to just leave the captions off. He's back on. Okay, the other thing is for this specific scene, let's say I don't have plans to animate this scene, so I want to keep this specific image. I'm gonna go to transitions and I want it to move. I want the video to transition differently. Maybe I want it to go slower. So it's going to come in. And here are the different transitions. So it can slide. This is kind of showing you what slide looks like. Fade, wipe, and kind of just, depending on the vibe you're going for or how you'd want these to transition, you could also just select none. And then similarly for fade out, how the image fades out, you can change the speed here, change the style, and then for each style, there are different direction types. So they can slide this way, can slide up, slide down, etc. So those are our transitions. Now for layout, here you can do sizing. So there's a good example over here for, oh, sorry, for this one, I believe. As you can see, like the sizing of this one is a little off. So I'm gonna go back to design, layout, size, and I'm gonna just increase the size just a little bit so that there isn't those black lines on the top. I can also use this to change the position. So, if I wanted to really do this and zoom in on something specific, this is one way to kind of get that positioning the way I want it. And this is video, so there is no pan and zoom available for videos.
From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique needs.
But let's say for this one, I want to change the way the video comes in. So
Smooth, fine lines, refresh tired skin, and
I would like for this to kind of, go across, or maybe I don't want any animations on this. The bounce zoom does this.
rediscover that natural, healthy, smooth, fine lines.
Right, so that kind of fits a little bit more of like it's zooming in on her face and it's not just like moving up and down. So it fits this specific scene a little better. I can make this go slower,
Refresh tired skin, and rediscover that natural.
and I can make it go faster. So there are a few different options here for how to change that animation. That's assuming that you want this to remain an image and you're not planning to add motion to this image, making it like an animated video. Okay, so that's a few ways to change like the look and feel of the video to just match your vibe and your brand, etc. Let's say that actually what we don't like is the script. Now we're hearing the script and we're not loving what's being said. So I'm gonna go here to our script settings. This brings us out of our scene settings because script is a global script setting, and we go to edit script. So here you can see our script with the scenes next to them. And let's say I want this to say, we believe your glow should, feel as good as it looks. I'm going to add something very simple like always. This is not, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but if you wanted to do this, you would then save this and then it would give you the option to regenerate. So as you can see, regenerating has a credit cost associated with it. The way that these credit costs are calculated is that it's going to regenerate the entire audio. So this is 3 credits because this is a pretty short video, so there's not much to regenerate, even though it's regenerating the entire audio. But if you have a much longer video here, then like that credit cost is going to go up. So my recommendation would be if you want to make changes to your script after generating, make as many changes as possible before regenerating, right? So go back to your script, edit script, and try to like make all those changes in one go because it's going to regenerate the entire audio again. So it's a more cost-effective way to make those changes instead of making them one by one and having to pay for that regeneration cost every single time. Another thing to call out here is that you can delete a scene here if, let's say, like you don't want this specific scene and you want all of this to stay up here. Right, this is going to be a whole line. This will delete this scene. You can leave a blank scene here, or yeah, you can delete the scene. And then similarly, this will regenerate. Another way to do this that doesn't, if you're doing this on desktop, where you can do this without having to regenerate the entire audio, is you can take this marker here on the timeline and delete the scene that way. So now you can remove one scene.
At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks. From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique.
So I've just removed that scene and I didn't pay to regenerate the video. Um, this is also true. Like if you just want to make changes to where a word lands in a video, right? Like if you want the full script to say this or um, again, like we just want to go through half. That is one way to do this. Just do this from the timeline here. If you're not making any actual changes to the words, then it's better to move things around here so you're not paying to regenerate the video every single time. Okay, so that is editing the script. In order to, let's say, we talked a little bit about the narrator, and I wasn't sure that I was going to love this narrator, so I want to go explore some other narrator options. I'm gonna go and let's see.
Every character deserves the right voice.
So like we have vibrant, energetic, but maybe because it's a med spa, I want it to feel
Every character deserves the right voice.
maybe this is a little too on brand, but let's try it. So Emily has a subdued voice, she's calm. So I'm gonna select her as my narrator for this. Again, I could do a custom voice, right? So I already have my custom voice added here.
Hello there, I'm ready for my role. Hello there, I'm ready for.
So if I want to, I can select my own voice um and create this video. So let's say if you are creating ads for your business, or it is your channel, and you want to make sure it's always your voice, then using a custom voice is the best option here. You don't have to actually narrate every single time you want to create a video, and you can just use your voice. We're gonna keep it as Emily for now. And then let's regenerate this, and then we'll talk a little bit about changing characters. So for this, I'm only going to regenerate the audio because I've only made changes to the narrator, not the images. And I'm going to regenerate for 3 credits. And while, okay, it's been regenerated, but I'm going to go just really quickly to the question about captions. So, okay, and we're going to go global design settings. Here to captions. So the question is about whether or not you can change the color of the caption so it's not always yellow. That was this highlight section here. So come back to these. I want to make them small, and let's say I want it to be blue, the blue highlight, or maybe like a lighter blue. Yeah, so that is how you can change that color so that the highlight color is not always yellow.
From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique needs.
And that's Emily's voice. Right. Okay, so we've now changed the narrator to Emily. We've made some changes to the captions. And we're gonna go now back to script. So you can also change who you've casted as your character after the video has been generated. So let's say you decided that you want your spot client to be a different person, whether it be a custom character that you want to create or a custom character you've already created. We won't do that because my custom characters are funny. Or maybe you want to use a different character here. let's see, I would like to use Asha as my new spa client. Um, Now, the thing to call out here about regenerating when you've selected a new character. If you're selecting a new character and that character has lines in your video, meaning they are speaking in this video, then you're going to want to regenerate the images and the audio for that video, right? Because more, unless that character doesn't have a different voice, but more likely than not, that character is going to have a different voice, so you're going to need to regenerate both. In this situation, I only have a narrator. I don't have any dialogue lines, so I'm going to select Asha and then I'm going to regenerate, and I'm not going to regenerate audio because it's still going to remain as Emily the entire time, but I am going to regenerate the images. So something to call out here is that similar to audio, when you go and regenerate the images, it will regenerate all of the images. But if you want to go back to any previously generated images, because maybe you don't necessarily like the new ones that got generated with Asha, you don't need Asha to be in a certain image, then you can always go back and find those in the media generated tab. So we're going to change this so that now Asha is the one at the spa. Okay. Now, while we wait for this change, let's go back to our homepage. So this is our homepage. This is where things get started. If you've been creating videos and you want to see where your old videos are or your custom characters are, you would go up here to My Videos. So your Videos tab will show you all of your previously generated videos. And then here you will have your assets like your characters, all the custom characters that you have created, the styles you have created. So I haven't created any styles in the specific account. And then custom voices. So you can see my custom voices listed here. And then let's say I want to delete a character, so I don't think I'm going to use Labubu's in any more characters. I'm going to go here, I'm going to click on that character, and I'm going to delete this character. I can also make edits to a character. Here, I can edit my character's voice, and then edit the description of this character. Or again, I can delete the character here. For styles, I don't have a style listed, but it's the same thing. I can go and edit a style, or I can go ahead and delete a style. For voices, however, I only have the option to delete a voice. So I cannot edit a voice once it's already been created. If a voice does not work out for you, go ahead and delete this voice and create a whole new voice. When creating a voice, there's always an option to test out that voice first. So let's see. I'm going to just create a new voice. Hello, I'm recording my voice. Oh, I can choose to read this or not. I'm using my best microphone to get my best voice possible. I'm also making lots of different voices, like sounding super silly or really angry. I can just keep talking, saying anything, just keep going. Right, so now we're going to stop that, and it's going to show me the recorded voice here. And I'll start generating, and then it gives me previews.
Hello there, I'm ready for my role.
Doesn't that sound weird? So in this situation, I would probably record again and try to get my voice recorded differently. So that's what I would suggest. If you don't like the preview, just re-record the voice because once you save it and create a voice, you cannot edit it. You will need to delete it and start over. And then here, my videos. So we have a search engine here for your videos. I don't have many in this account, but for a lot of our users, they have a ton of videos. So you could go ahead and search, right, search for videos here. You can also search by characters if you're looking for, videos with very specific characters. So now I have Asha in this video, so I can search for this video that has Asha in it. And then also you can search by style. So that's your videos page. And then just call out here. You can also create a video from here. It's like pretty much the same prompt boxes on the dashboard. You can create a character here. and you can create a style here. Okay. Now let's go back to the video. So now video has been regenerated with Asha.
At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks. From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique needs. Smooth.
Right, so now we have Asha included in the video, which is great. I'm gonna go back to this one, and let's say I actually liked the video, the original image that was here. So we're gonna go back to media, generated, and I'm going to select, where is this image? Was it this one? This one. Oh, I do like this one. So we'll replace this one. Now, these are, again, these are a bunch of still images. Once I feel good about my script, I feel good about my characters. Let's take a quick look at audio. There are just a few audio settings here. You could change the voiceover speed. Say you like Emily's voice, but you need her to talk just a little bit faster, right?
At Hypernatural Spa,
We could increase the speed of her voice by a bit.
we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks.
Maybe not. That's a little weird. So we'll move it back. You can also change the voiceover volume, and then here you can upload audio. So if you want background, like a background sound to come with this, like, slow spa music, etc., to be background of this video, here is where you would upload the video, the audio. Okay. Let's see. Not missing any other settings here. So now, if we want to, we can now this is a pretty short video, so I'm going to animate all the scenes. I'm going to click on our full motion here, and this opens up our storyboard, which shows all the different scenes here, and you can select the ones that you want to add motion for, meaning the ones that you want to animate. And then here you'll see the cost of animating all of these. So these are 9 scenes. And to animate all of these scenes, it's going to cost 135 credits. I'm using the same scene twice, so maybe let's not animate this one, but why not? It'll animate differently. So here now, we can just assume that I've gone through every single scene. I've spot checked that I like the image. I've gone back to images from previous videos if I didn't like that image or if I liked a prior image more. I've regenerated new images. So the suggestion is that before I go here and add motion to this entire video, I should be ensuring that the images I liked are good, right? Like I like the consistency of the characters. I like the setting, etc. And that I've made all of those changes before coming here to add motion to all of these. So now we're going to add motion here. While we're waiting for that, take a quick look for questions here. Okay. Yes, I will record this and make this available. If you want recorded sessions of this, even if you cannot make future sessions, but you just, we will keep updating this as new features come out. We will record new versions of this and do new webinars. The plan is to do these monthly, do both of the sessions each month. So even if you cannot attend the webinar, I highly suggest registering for the webinar because that is who will receive the recorded video for sure. So that is the best way to ensure that you are getting the recording. Is best to put the scene background at each scene, or can we make it at the end of the script? So sorry, actually, that's a great question, Daphne. So let me show you this. What it does. So we don't have a way to change the scene setting once it's been generated across all of the scenes. But if you go to undo swap, generate new, You click on setting. If you take a, now the pink walls are still saved in here, but obviously we don't want the pink walls. If you take a look at the setting, it is the same across each one. So it'll automatically set the same setting and then, well, this one won't, but like it'll try to keep the consistent for the settings that are the same setting, right? Well, these are actually two different settings. But if you were showing just that lounge area that entire time, you'll see that the setting remains the same. So it's just exposing what the scene setting was set as prior. If you don't like the scene setting um, for a specific image, that is when you would come here to swap, generate new, and change the scene setting. Yes, if let's say that scene setting is supposed to stay consistent across 3 to 4 different scenes, you should copy the scene setting and put it into the 3 other scenes that it is also meant to describe. There's no way to change the scene settings across like a few different scenes at this point in time. The only way to do that would be to do that at the very beginning to make sure that like you're very clear when you're generating your script what the scene setting is. Um, but but like we understand that people want to change scene settings more globally and people want more control over these scene settings, so that's something we're also thinking about. Um, oh, okay. Let's talk about dialogue a little bit. I will do a dialogue video so that you else can see the recording of that. Okay. Let's do a dialogue video. Let's quickly just go through this one and then I'll go. We have a few minutes left, so I'll show a quick dialogue video.
At Hypernatural Spa, we believe your glow should feel as good as it looks. From medical grade facials to rejuvenating treatments, every visit is tailored to your skin's unique needs. Smooth fine lines, refresh tired.
So it's a spa. So naturally some of the scenes will be a little slow moving. And like, you're seeing a setting and zooming in and out of the setting. As you can see, the ones where there are people involved,
Unique needs.
you're watching
Smooth fine lines.
treatment happening.
That natural, healthy radiance. Feel confident.
Okay, so that is this video. I'm going to go back here and pull up. Let me, let's actually, you know what? Let's use one of our. Let's do a how we met video. So this is narrative, so it'll have lines. Um, Here's like a cute story how we met. You could enter details here. So this is like an idea. If you want to write a story of how you and your partner have met, you would enter some details here. But also if I don't enter anything, it will suggest things for me. So let's just go through with that. Okay, so something to look at here is now we do have narrator lines, right? So there will be voiceover and a narrator talking, and then there also is dialogue. So Sarah saying, "Oh no, Mark, I got it," and then Sarah and Mark have been casted. I won't go through these again since we've already kind of talked through those. In the interest of time, we'll make this video and kind of take a look at how to set dialogue. Now, I understand dialogue can be a little tricky, right? Like getting the lip sync to work exactly right for every single scene, and it requires some tweaking. So we'll take a look at that. See, the other thing to consider, I'm gonna go back to this video. So this is a video we're working on while that other one generates. Um, no, yeah, no, it won't give me this one. Okay. Let's see. Something I'll highlight about this video, right? It's set in like, I forget when it's set, and I'll probably say something about when it's set. But the setting here, let's see. It's a coffee shop, and I didn't do much customization. Things to kind of call out about creating a video like this and not doing much customization is you are missing out on a ton. So if you wanted to do a video, the story of our first meeting, right, and you wanted it to look as accurate as possible, my suggestion would be uploading a character, trying to get like the look and the feel of that character, right? So if it's set in like the 1970s, etc., that looks like the 1970s and the character also looks and feels like the 1970s. Generally, the system will try to adjust the characters to look like the setting, but I think that just makes more certain that you're getting the right look, as if you're customizing your character. The other thing to call out is customizing your style. So again, like photographic is pretty generic, so like it'll do its best to customize to a specific era. Um, but if you have a good sense of what era you want it to look like, it's best to just upload a style that resembles that era so that the video can go off of that. Okay, so in the interest of time, let's, right here, she says,
Sarah said as her books began to tumble.
I got it.
Mark,
okay, and I still used Emily. Should not have done that. Okay, let's go full motion. I'm gonna deselect all here because I'm just want to do a few here that have um, some dialogue so we can see. So in order to get dialogue working and have people actually talking to each other, you do need to animate those scenes. I did this in the interest of time, just like went and animated a ton of scenes. But again, like to make sure that this looks good, I would go scene by scene to ensure that the scene looks like what I want it to look like, that the characters are doing and engaging in ways that I want them to engage. So like my example here would be, I don't really care for that scene. I would definitely have changed that one. So she's like, love for caffeine. But then here she has like a ton of books falling. That is, I would suggest changing this to make sure that the scene looks right. Um, so I would have swapped and then generated a new scene. A stack of books start to fall. Like maybe I'd be like, as a book starts to fall, or I would make some changes here. Um, if I don't like the setting, I would make that change here, and I would generate a new image before adding animation. So. Let's see. Some of these are starting to generate. Okay, we're almost. Okay, one left. Again, I only animated a couple just so we can like take a look. All right.
for caffeine,
Oh no.
Sarah said as her books began to tumble.
I got it.
Mark exclaimed, lunging forward, manages to catch the books, but
Okay,
knocks.
maybe these are very short lines.
Seem to be making a habit of creating chaos wherever I go.
Right, so this
Mark
one,
responded.
this scene did well. There are more lines so you can kind of see the mouthing a little bit better here. Again, that is why making sure that like the scene, the image here before you animate it and it, lip syncs, it will only lip sync if there is dialogue for that character there. So how do you ensure that? We're gonna go to script, edit script, and here you can see where is the narrator speaking, right? So in this scene, Sarah is not, she doesn't have speaking lines. The narrator is the one saying, Sarah said as her books began to tumble. So therefore, you won't see Sarah's mouth moving. If you want Sarah to talk, I could say, oh no, my books. Or maybe I'll put this up here, my books. And then Mark says, I got it. So here in this situation, I would do, oh no, my books. And that way it's very clear that the person talking here is Sarah. If I wanted more lines from Mark, I got it. Let me help you. I got it. Um, So now we have longer lines for Mark and Sarah to ensure that they actually have, we're going to regenerate that they actually have speaking lines, right? So the one where Mark had a longer line, you can actually see his mouth moving and like the audio makes a little bit more sense. Um, and obviously this is something you can do in advance of actually generating the image if you're going through the script, making sure that where it says Sarah has, has the actual dialogue and not narrator with the dialogue. Because when the narrator is speaking, if you animate, it will not add dialogue. But because I changed this, now this lip sync is, right, like, let's see.
No, my books.
Right, she didn't say my books.
Let me help you.
And
I
then
got it.
he didn't
Mark.
say it because then now I will have to reanimate these to have them match. So let's see, I'm gonna do one of my books. And I will reanimate just those two. Sorry, I know I had to go through that kind of quickly. We have about 3 minutes left. Do we have any other questions on this? In next week's session, we'll go in deeper and kind of just focus more on editing and less on the creating piece. So I will spend more time on dialogue and making these changes and really like curating and fixing things. Um, but if we have any final questions, I can take before we log out. Hopefully these scenes generate well. Okay. Let's take a look at the other. Oh, see, so the other thing, I mean, I just regenerated this one, but um, yes, we will. I will share the recording after session. Yeah, so we are working on, that's a great question. We are working on making yeah, trying to get more product consistency. At this point, the best solution for a product ad would be to upload images of that specific product. Um, so if especially for like an ad for a book, my suggestion would be like uploading the image to the very beginning, and then you can, um, you can upload the image here of the book, and then kind of do like snippets of what that book is about. But there's no way to add like a picture of a specific image into an image at this point in time. So you can describe it as best as you can in the generate section here, in the either whether it's an object describing it here or if it's a place trying to describe it as best possible here. But we don't yet have like you upload an image and it inserts it into an AI generated image. No, let me go back to these.
No, my books.
Let me help you. I got it.
Mark.
Right, so again, these are kind of weird images. I would have probably also changed this one before I animated it, but kind of just to show you all the lip sync piece. So I've now animated these. I made sure that Sarah and Mark each had lines for these scenes, and as you can see,
No, my books.
they're now talking.
Let me help you. I got it.
Mark.
Okay. Sorry, so this is a question about uploading an image for a specific product. If you have an image for a specific product, you can upload an image from your own, from your desktop or from your phone, depending on where it is that you're using it. So then just insert that specific image into the video. And then in terms of adding music to the videos, you can add music. You can upload a file here, and that can be like a music. It can be music, whatever music you have access to in your saved files, your personal saved files. You can upload that here and then add that music as background. Okay, well, we are at time. If you all have more questions, please do come to our session next week and bring those questions. I will share the recording after we hop out of here. And yeah, that is everything we have for today. Thank you all so much. Thank you all for joining us and being here with us.